Hey everyone, this is just a short little video I decided to make because I keep getting asked why not to use ontick. What's wrong with ontick? Ontick's fine, people will say. You shouldn't listen to those people. Listen, this bothers me enough that I'm going to make a quick little video on it, right? Because new people are led astray, and despite how much we constantly annoy Epic to remove it, the ontick node is still both exposed and is in fact a default node when you start a new blueprint. So let me just demonstrate the problems with tick. One of the many problems. So I've got a blueprint here, tick and timer. So these are them. Let me just open this up. So tick here is very simple. All we do is every tick, every frame. It's good to explain what tick is. Tick is do something every frame. So every time the graphics card refreshes your screen and draws a new shiny frame for you, do this thing. That sounds reasonable, right? That sounds like something you might want. So we'll just grab the world location of this cone, shoot a line trace out about 1,000 units. Well, exactly 1,000 units. And then add some rotation. Just move me, rotate me 5 units there, right? Does that every single frame. Cool. Let's say it's a bomb, spinning bomb, and if you touch the laser beam, it blows up, something like that, right? Who knows what it is. Then let's go to the timer version. Exactly the same thing, but in this case, we're using a timer by event. It's set to 60 frames a second, and it's 0.16, that's 60 times a second. Does the exact same thing and then adds 5. So this is just doing that exact same thing every 60 times a second, right? Every 0.16 seconds. And this one is hypothetically doing that every 60 frames a second. As long as my computer can keep up, this is where we enter the problems, right? Because as a game developer, as a game designer, that's the one thing you don't get. That's the one thing about your environment that you don't control. You don't know what I'm running. What's my graphics card? You don't know. It's a 1080 Ti. Or am I running on my sister's laptop with built-in integrated graphics that runs at like 5 frames a second, right? Can't run Minecraft. Is that what am I running? You don't know. So this works great as long as my frames are stable, as long as I'm playing the game as my primary focus. I'm not rendering something in the background and just playing a quick little game of whatever you're making to keep me busy, whatever, right? Encoding a video or something with anything that causes my frames to drop. This only works on your machine at your frame rate as long as everything's perfect. That is a heck of a gamble. For what reason? Literally for what reason? So let's see the problem in action, shall we? Here they go. So same thing, cool, 60 frames a second, everything's great. What happens if I've got a more powerful graphics card? 120 seconds. Now this challenge is impossible. What if it's crap? And now we're at 5 frames a second, and now the challenge is trivial, right? Let's just keep swapping every 5 seconds. So I boosted it up to 120 frames a second, and I forced it to drop to 5 every 5 seconds. And we'll just have a look at the problem here, right? This is the problem with tick. Tick forces game logic to be tied to frames per second. Even though the world is simulating just fine, my computer just can't draw it when I force it to be run at 5 seconds. But nothing's actually different. It's just my experience as a player. I still jump as fast. There's 2 jumps, then at 5 frames, I'm still jumping, right? It just looks like crap because it's running at 5 frames a second. But it's the same thing because your CPU, right, can do stuff at the rate that it can do stuff, which is very fast. And then the graphics card can render all these pixels as fast as it can pixel. And there's no correlation there, right? If my graphics card is having a bad day, or it's garbage, or it's having a great day from want to play this game 30 years in the future, come back, relive old memories, and everything runs at 10,000 frames a second, and this thing's just spinning crazy, right? They're not connected. The CPU is for rendering your game simulation, the actual world here, a box and a spinning cone. Your graphics card is for relaying that to the player to draw the graphics. These two things are completely disconnected. And what Tick does, for no reason, is tie those two things together. And from a game design perspective, it means that the one thing that you should be doing, which is giving players a consistent world to inhabit, right? An actual simulation for them to master, and you've removed it. It's the one thing you don't control. You have no idea what my frame rate is. You never will. Like, even I might not know, because some process I forgot to kicks off, or my computer starts overheating because I've forgotten, I've accidentally, like, whatever, right? Haven't cleaned the fans and it's clogged with dust. Like, you don't know. You have no idea. And this is Tick. This is the problem with Tick. That's all I really have to say. Don't use Tick. Let me show you just a couple of alternatives really quick. So let's just create a new blueprint. You know all this. I'm still using Unreal Engine 4 for various reasons. But it's the same process in Unreal Engine 5 and probably 6 in however many years future person. So let me just call this example or something. Right. Go into the event graph. Right, so get rid of this. This shouldn't even be exposed to you. This honestly shouldn't be exposed to you, let alone a default node that implies it's just as good as these other two. It's not. It's not. And as much as we keep bothering Epic about it, they don't want to change. So off the beginning of event play, let's just say timer by event. This is the easiest one to do, right? So set your time. 0.3 for 30 frames a second, 0.03, pardon, or 0.16 for 60 frames a second. And you can just work that out simple as, right, just do 1 divided by, 1 second divided by what, 60 frames a second? Bang, there it is. So it's actually 0.1666 repeating. But good enough for government work, 1.6, right? Looping, yeah, just do that. Just constantly fire this, or just do it once, whatever, right? Off the event here, just go add event, just a new custom event. I'll just call it timer, whatever, doesn't matter. So this bad boy is just going to call this whenever, every 0.16, and we'll just say print, and it'll just say hello, right? And that's all it does. So if I just chuck the example in the world, and there it goes, right? Simple as that. That's it. This is completely disconnected from the frame rate. You can go turn your screen off and it'll print hello every 0.16 seconds exactly till the end of time, right? Has nothing to do with how powerful your graphics hardware is. Gives you an actual, reliable simulation. This is the case for everything, physics, everything, right? Your frame rate has nothing to do with your game world. Don't tie them together with Tick. That's all I really have to say. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. I wish you all the luck in the world. Shout out to the Prismatica dev and his Discord, which I'll link in the description of the video. Fantastic bunch of people that are really, really helpful. So if you're at this level that you're not sure about Tick, pop in, ask for some help. Fantastic people. So yeah, look, peace out and absolute best of luck in your game dev journey. I hope to play whatever you're making. Cheers, guys.